You are watching the WD Broadcasting Network, your home for racing highlights, iRacing broadcast, commentary, and more. But here comes Jeremiah Woods. He wants to win in the Street Stock Showdown, but he's hungry to get up to the front. If you are a fan of short track racing, the WD Broadcasting Network is your home for racing content in real life and on the sim. Follow the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button on YouTube to never miss an upload. Top spot away, Terzak once again into the back bumper. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network, and welcome to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the first of two doubleheaders here, or first of two races here tonight in our Nashville doubleheader. Right now, qualifying taking place on the mini track. We will take the top 16 from qualifying. Let's take a look at our qualifying results right here. Gavin Gardner currently quick time. Carter Hollingsworth second. Looking at the bubble spot, Peyton Hamlet sits in that final transfer position. We've got two cars left to go. We'll see if Matt did it already. Matthew Elsie Jr. in the 27. We'll see where he can go. Fourth quick for the 27. Through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can get a better lap number 2, and he'll keep that first lap. Chris Fleming, final car to try to get a lap in. He was 22nd quick, lap number 1. Brandon Elvis currently on the bubble in the 54. Fleming out of turn number 4 across the stripe. And he will jump up to 19th, but not going to make the show. So everybody finishes their qualifying lap. The top 16 lock straight into tonight's 50-lap A-main at the Nashville Fairgrounds quarter mile. And then later tonight we'll have 50 on the 5/8 mile. I don't know which race I'm more excited for. They're both very entertaining races. And let's look at tonight's racetrack, the quarter mile. As you can see, 0.25 miles in length. Very small track. Tied for the smallest track on the schedule. Slinger is also on the schedule. It is a quarter mile as well. Very different here, though. No banking to really drive the car down into. Got to get the car slowed down and rotated, and then up off of the corner. Very tight bull ring style racetrack here at the fairgrounds. And then tonight, later on, is going to be a different challenge for these drivers as well. The big track, way different experience than the little track. So, going to be fun to see these drivers have to go back and forth. We'll look at the point standings right now. Just 3 races into the season. Connor Knowlton, the winner the last 2 weeks in the 24. He sits in the top spot, just 9 points ahead of Brandon Atkinson, who jumped up to the second position last week. Justin Coleman did not have the best run. He'll drop back to third. Dylan Connors slowly creeping his way forward in the 91. So it's now time for our last chance qualifier. We'll get our starting lineup on screen. Looks like Peyton Hamlet going to roll off on the pole alongside Tristan Pena. Pena right now sitting in the 18th spot in the point standings. Chris Fleming in the 18 machine going to roll off third alongside Andrew Turner. And then Jaden Russell and Nicholas Giampa going to round out your field. 4 transfer spots up for grabs here in the last chance qualifier, making up a 20-car field. So we'll have to see who will be able to take the final 4 transfer positions. And the white flag given to these drivers. Front row, Peyton Hamlet and Tristan Pena. Going to bring us to the green out of turn number 4. For the first time tonight, the green flag is going to fly, and we're underway for 20 laps in the last chance qualifier. Immediately, Nicholas Giampa drops down to the bottom lane. He wants to get down into the lane where you're going to see a lot of passing. Now Jaden Russell to the inside of Andrew Turner. That is for the final transfer position. Out front, Peyton Hamlet gets away to an early lead. He's a regular here at the Nashville Fairgrounds and at the quarter mile. He has many laps around this tight little bull ring, and he is showing it right now out front in the last chance qualifier. There is 18 laps to go. It's a 20-lap affair. These drivers are going to get some extra practice for tonight's race, but right now Jaden Russell holds that final transfer position. Top 3 have broken away from Russell in the number 11. Chris Fleming has gotten around Pena for the 2nd spot, but Russell has Andrew Turner and Nick Giampa right there on his back bumper. Will be 5 laps in, 15 to go this time by Chris Fleming. Under fire from Tristan Pena in the number 50. Through turn 3 and 4. Laps go away quickly here at the mini track. Jaden Russell continues to hold that final transfer position. We're just about to the halfway mark. And Andrew Turner in the 51 into the outside wall. He'll lose some ground. Nick Giampa in the 46 trying to make up the final couple positions. But so far unsuccessful. The two of them once again into the wall. Just gets a little bit tight up off of turn number 4. Trying to get the best run that you can. Giampa right there to the back bumper. And your leader right now, Peyton Hamlet in the 98. 10 laps to go. Halfway in, halfway home for the 98 of Hamlet. Chris Fleming in the 18 runs 2nd. Tristan Pena runs 3rd. And Jaden Russell takes that final transfer spot in the number 11. Andrew Turner still right there on his back bumper, though. If the 11 of Russell makes any kind of mistake, Turner's right there to pounce, and so is the 46 of Giampa. But the laps are running out for both of those drivers. Through 1 and 2 that time, you see the 11 get a little bit of an advantage. And there's the 50 of Tristan Pena right there. Takes a look to the inside, thought about it. But Fleming able to shut the door. Pena drops back in the 50. Five laps to go this time by for Peyton Hamlet. We're watching the battle for the 2nd spot. We head back to the battle for the transfer position. Turner really able to get the car down into the corner, but I think he's struggling out of turn number 4, and that's where Russell is able to just maintain that gap as we see 4 laps to go for him right there. Turner's keeping it close, but I think he may have to have a final effort right here. Pulls right up to the back bumper. Russell's going to have to hang on with 3 to go. Peyton Hamlet's lead just about 3 seconds out front. Definitely going to be one to watch later. I think he's going to have a strong run through the field if he can keep the nose clean. But 2 laps to go this time. Jaden Russell's got Andrew Turner right there on his back bumper. White flag is out for Peyton Hamlet. Chris Fleming runs second. Pena third. Battle for the transfer spot is on. Jaden Russell trying to hang on. Andrew Turner's right there on the back bumper. Final time down into turn number 3. And Turner not going to be able to get there. Up and out of turn number 4. Give the final transfer spot to Jaden Russell in the number 11. Peyton Hamlet wins the last chance qualifier. Chris Fleming in the 18 comes home second. And that will do it. Let's look at our qualifying results one more time while these drivers get their final warm-up in. Gavin Gardner goes to the top of the board. I believe that is his first ever pole in Street Stock Showdown competition. He picked up the victory earlier this season at North Wilkesboro in the season opener. Carter Hollingsworth qualified second, just 7 1/1000ths off. You look back through the field, it's pretty close all throughout your top 15, all the way back 0.2 of a second. So really anybody can make it through the field. Dylan Connor, usually see him right at the top of the board in qualifying, actually has the most fast qualifying, or quick time awards, we'll call it that. He has the most quick time awards in the Leave the Pack iRacing League, so Connor always has speed in the 91. We'll have to watch him late in the race. Justin Coleman in the 14. He's been running strong. Right now sits in the 3rd spot in the point standings. He'd love a good run here tonight. Warm-up just about finished here this evening. Cole Baxter, another Nashville regular. I don't know if he's had laps on the quarter mile, but he's definitely turned some laps in a street stock on the 5/8 mile. Will be one to watch. So many stacked names throughout this field. Nobody here, I think, making their first Leave the Pack iRacing League Street Stock Showdown start. Everybody here has been around. But this should be a good race with trusted drivers. As I say that, they spin out of turn number 4. Brandon Elvis in the 54. Not the best qualifying run from the 2-time champion. He's going to have to work his way back from the 8th row on the grid. Connor Knowlton in the 24. He's won the last 2 weeks, and if you've watched the Leave the Pack iRacing League before, you know the rule. He's going to the tail at the start of this one. So Knowlton going to have to come from the back of this field, which is going to put some extra stress if he wants to retain that points lead. He currently holds it by just 9 over Brandon Atkinson. But this street stock field has been competitive all season long. Right now, I think there is 15 or so drivers that have made a start every single race this season, or have been with us every race this season. But let's look at our starting lineup. 20 cars going to take the green here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on the quarter mile. And let's look at our starting grid. Starting on the pole, invert was a 5, so that will put Jeremiah Woods in the 75 on the top spot. He'll have Matthew LZ Jr. in the 27 to his outside. In the third place spot, Cole Baxter in the 19, going to roll off next to Carter Hollingsworth, driver 7th in points right now, starting 4th. Gavin Gardner, your fast qualifier here this evening, winner in week number 1. We'll see what he can do rolling off 5th. And then to his outside, it's the number 71. That's going to be Adam Fulford. Fulford, top 5 in points right now, trying to work his way forward. Row number 4, scheduled to be Connor Knowlton in the 24, but he's going to be dropping to the rear. To his outside, it's going to be Chris Smith in the 80, starting the 8th spot. Inside row number 5, that is the 19 of Chris Shepard. And to his outside, driver currently 4th in the point standings, all-time leader in Fast Qualifier awards. That's Dylan Connor. 4-time Street Stock Showdown winner Justin Coleman going to roll off from the 11th position. And then Braxton Deweese in the number 8, going to start from the 12th spot. Back behind him, rounding out our starting lineup, Trey Ashworth in the number 8. Going to roll off from the 13th position. To his outside, driver currently 2nd in the point standings, Brandon Atkinson in the 15, going to roll off 14th. Jesse Binkley in the 25. First time we've seen him in quite a bit in the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown. He's going to start 15th alongside the 2-time champion Brandon Elvis in the 54. And your 4 last chance qualifying transfers. Peyton Hamlet in the 98 going to start alongside Chris Fleming. And rounding out the field, Tristan Pena and Jaden Russell. Field will get the 1 to go signal. They'll get the 1 to go signal this time by everybody wanting to make sure everything is all good to go. Jeremiah Woods repping a different look this week. He usually drives the Monte Carlo body, but a couple of drivers mixing it up. Adam Fulford in a different ride this week. I know Connor Knowlton in the 24 was as well, but this is the moment we have all been waiting for. The drop of the green in the Nashville quarter mile. Let's see what happens. Jeremiah Woods, Matthew LZ Jr. through turns 3 and 4. Green flag is out, and we are racing at Nashville. Down into the first set of corners, Woods in the 75. And Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 goes around right in front of the field. A couple drivers have to swerve to avoid. And Hollingsworth, right off the bat, goes around. Caution flag, lap number 1. That did not take long at all. Looked like going down into the corner. I think he may have gotten into the back bumper of Matthew LZ Jr., sorry. And I think when that happened, there's a big stack up from behind. Nobody could really do anything. And you can see everybody having to swerve down to the bottom. Good thing there's a lot of room down there. I think Hollingsworth going to be able to continue, but all of that track position that he had is going to be gone. Watch it one more time, try to get a better look at this one here. Yeah, you can see the bumper tag, and as soon as that happened, that second tap got Hollingsworth sideways, and around went the 28, and already under caution. One lap, or one corner rather, in the books. Jeremiah Woods going to hold on to the race lead after starting pole from the invert. First caution of the race. Hopefully we can get these guys green for some laps here. The lights off on the iRacing.com pace car. Woods going to roll off alongside Cole Baxter. with row 2, Gavin Gardner and Matthew LZ Jr. Pace car going to cut hard to the left and out of turn number 4. We are back underway here at the fairgrounds. Through turns 1 and 2, better start that time. Gavin Gardner in the 55 able to sneak alongside Cole Baxter for the 3rd spot. Through turns 3 and 4 for the first time, first lap under green in the books, and Gavin Gardner up to the 2nd spot. A little bit further back behind him, Chris Shepard gets around Justin Coleman. Coleman thought about looking back to the inside, but Shepard keeps the door shut. Now Dylan Connor in the 91, kind of stuck up on that outside lane, trying to make something happen from the 2nd groove. Look at him moving on the top, able to get in front of Chris Smith, and he will shut that door. Now a pair of number 8s, Trey Ashworth and Braxton Deweese side by side. Deweese on the top side, Ashworth on the bottom side. And Trey Ashworth moving forward. How about Peyton Hamlet already up into the 11th spot? Started in the 17th position and wasting no time on the inside lane. Already to lap 10 here. The couple cars play bumper tag back behind them. The field 10 laps in, 40 to go as the sun dips behind the clouds here at the fairgrounds. How will that change the race? As Brandon Atkinson, the next driver, to try and get past Braxton Deweese. Deweese has been hung out on that outside lane for quite some time, just not able to get back down to the bottom. We'll see if he can tuck in behind Brandon Atkinson here. But Elvis likely going to try to close the gap. I think Deweese is going to find a home right there. Little bumper tag from Brandon Elvis, so Braxton Deweese and the number 8 machine has to save it. Elvis in the 54 didn't quite let Braxton Deweese back down to the bottom. A little bump down into 3. And Elvis going to take that spot away. Let's look back up front as Connor Knowlton gets back by as well. For the race lead, here comes Gavin Gardner underneath Jeremiah Woods. Woods was down into the grass right there through turns 3 and 4, dipped the left front in it, and now Gardner up the racetrack. Here comes Cole Baxter to the inside. Baxter to the bottom, loose up off of turn number 4. Woods going to be able to pull back alongside, but now Gavin Gardner takes the race lead. 15 laps into this one. Matthew LZ Jr. to the inside of Jeremiah Woods. Now Woods has to find a way back to the bottom. Looks like he's going to be able to get in front of Chris Shepard in the 19. Biggest mover so far, still Peyton Hamlet in the 98, but now as Brandon Elvis looking to his inside. Elvis trying to work his way forward. He's gone up 5 positions in the 54 and now gets past the 98 of Peyton Hamlet. Move Elvis up to the 11th spot. But last week's winner, Connor Knowlton, thinking about looking to the inside, thought better of it there. Elvis loose up off of turn number 4, trying to keep the door shut, but Knowlton keeping that lane just barely open. Is now up front for the race lead. Cole Baxter in the 19 looked to the inside of Gavin Gardner, thought about it that time. 30 laps to go. We're 20 laps in here at the mini oval. Matthew LZ Jr. getting into the mix now in the 27. He's right there on the back bumper of Cole Baxter. And now up in front of your race leader, Gavin Gardner, we've got some lap traffic starting to develop. I don't know how quickly he will get to him, but Jaden Russell in the 11 and Jesse Binkley not too far ahead up the road in front of your race leader, Gavin Gardner. Trey Ashworth gets by Brandon Atkinson. That is for the 9th spot. Here comes Connor Knowlton trying to work his way forward. And caution flag flies. Jaden Russell in the number 11. I think may have been the cause of the caution there. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Let's take another look. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I thought that was the cause of the caution. Let's try and get a better view, see if there was anything else happening on the racetrack. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the caution just came out when Russell came to a slow, but he never really stopped, so a strange iRacing glitch maybe putting us under caution for the second time, which kind of really kicks the momentum of things, because now these guys are going to have to execute another restart, which we have seen be a little bit treacherous so far. Gavin Gardner still holds the race lead, but Cole Baxter was giving him one challenge in that 19 machine. We'll see what happens on this restart. They get the 1 to go signal, lights off on the iRacing.com pace car. Field going to go through turns 3 and 4. And the pace car will pull off. We'll be back underway just past the halfway mark under that caution flag. And through turn number 4 in the hands of Gavin Gardner. Green flag is back out. Good launch from Cole Baxter. He'll pull ahead in the 19, and we've got cars piling up down into 1 and 2. Somehow the caution didn't come out there, but the caution came out for the other one. I'm not sure what was going on with iRacing there, but hopefully another caution comes out and we get to take a look at that one. But they will continue racing on. Chris Shepard to the inside of Justin Coleman. This is the battle for the 5th spot. Coleman trying to hang on to the top 5. Now Connor Knowlton in the 24. Keep an eye on your current points leader and winner last week. He's worked his way up nearly to the top 5 as he gets around Justin Coleman for the 6th position. 20 laps to go, make it 19 this time for Gavin Gardner, trying to hang on, but he has got Cole Baxter right there on his back bumper, just waiting to make the move. A little bumper tag through turns 1 and 2 that time. Gardner able to keep the car low on the exit, not allowing the 19 of Baxter to his inside. 18 laps remain. Jeremiah Woods and Matthew Elzey Jr. still not ready to call it quits for the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, back behind, Adam Fulford in the 71 all over the racetrack down the back straightaway. That was kind of weird, the way that car bobbled around. It looks like he's got it figured back out. Gets by Chris Smith for the final spot in the top 10. Peyton Hamlet trying to move back forward. Hard Chargers so far. Brandon Elvis up 9 spots from the 16th place starting position, and Connor Knowlton started shotgun on the field 20th. He is up to the 16th place spot. "15 laps remain. Gavin Gardner still holds on to the race lead, but Cole Baxter right there in the 19. Another bumper through turns 3 and 4, just trying to maybe scoot him slightly off of the bottom so he can pull underneath of him. But Gardner doing a good job keeping that car on the bottom on the exit, not allowing Baxter to get a good run. But you can tell the 19 definitely has a lot more corner speed. But how patient can he be? Gardner right there in the 55, once again, just kind of holding it on that yellow line. And now slips up that time. Here comes Baxter to the inside. Gardner going to shut the door, but Gardner gets a shot from behind. Baxter in the 19 to the inside. They make contact down the back straightaway. Gavin Gardner in the 55 has to try and cross him back over. He touches him down the front straightaway. Give Cole Baxter the race lead through turns 1 and 2, and Gavin Gardner in the 55 spins it out. He's going to have to get it back going. The caution flag did not fly, and Gavin Gardner went from hero to 0 with 10 laps to go. Cole Baxter is going to be your race leader. And now the caution flag will fly. I think Chris Fleming in the 18 may have had trouble in turn number 1. But let's take a breather because that one got crazy for a minute. Let's see what happened on that restart because there was a lot of chaos and the caution did not fly. I'm curious to see what happened. This is another look at the restart. Watch the 91 of Dylan Connor. I think he's the first car that I saw spin down to the inside. And yeah, just stack up through the first set of corners. Dylan Connor obviously getting the worst of it in the 91. I think he's still on the racetrack, but obviously not in the capacity that he'd want to be in. Now here is Gardner in the 55. Gets into the back bumper of Cole Baxter. And I think just got too far down and clipped that little dip. And the car came right out from underneath of him. He got it right back going, though. Right back out onto the racetrack. And then let's watch what happened to Chris Fleming. This is down into 1. Made contact with Jesse Binkley. And that right there is what put us under the caution flag. We'll be back to racing with 5 laps to go. Cole Baxter and Matthew Elzy Jr., your front row. Jeremiah Woods in the 3rd spot. And how about Connor Knowlton from 20th on the grid, trying to pick up his 3rd victory in a row. 5 laps to go at Nashville Fairgrounds. Quarter mile, and we are back racing. Through the first set of corners, Baxter able to hold the advantage, but Matthew Elzy Jr. on the top side trying to make something happen. 4 laps to go as they cross the stripe. Connor Knowlton in the 24 stays right there on the top side as well. Out front, Cole Baxter in the 19 gets the race lead. Matthew Elzy Jr. crosses over for the 2nd spot. Now they stack up back behind him. Brandon Elvis to the top side. And oh, Jeremiah Woods in the 75 goes around. And a couple cars pile in. Nowhere to go. And you saw that kind of beginning through turns 3 and 4. Jeremiah Woods in the 75. Looked like the 24 and Knowlton just hit him and never really got up off of him. And then there was more contact. Man, Woods was just a ping pong ball down the front straightaway, and none of it, I think, was his own doing. Tough break for Jeremiah Woods in the 75. Look at it one more time. This is down through turns... Oh, try that one more time. There we go. This is down through turns 3 and 4. You see 1 bump, 2 bumps, 3 bumps, and I think that's the one that did it. 4 bumps. He did straighten him back out. Got him straightened back out, and then watch Elvis in the 54 right here come down the track. And then that's what did it for the 75. Adam Fulford got pinched down into the wall with Justin Coleman. Gavin Gardner caught a piece of it as well. That will set us up for a green-white checkered finish, though. 3 attempts at the green-white checkered. This will be the first one. Cole Baxter is the control car in the 19. Brandon Elvis in that 3rd spot. Keep an eye on the 54. He's going to be hungry for a street stock showdown victory. We'll see what happens. Green-white checkered time at the quarter mile. We are back racing. Both drivers hard down into turns 1 and 2. Baxter gets the advantage, but Elzy tries to hold alongside. Brandon Elvis in the 54. A little bumper tag from him as well. White flag is out. Final time at the quarter mile. Elvis in the 54 got loose down to the inside. Your front 2 side by side down the back straightaway. Elzy and Cole Baxter drag race to the line. Which one of them's going to get it? And it's going to be Cole Baxter winning at the quarter mile. 2nd goes to Elzy. 3rd to Connor Knowlton. And 4th goes to the 54, Brandon Elvis. That was a crazy one at the line. Everybody just kind of going for it all in those final couple laps. And we will quickly talk to our top 3 finishers. Try and get a word from the top 3 as quickly as we can. We'll get the final finishing results up on screen as well. Oop. Feature results, not qualifying. And we will grab a word from our race winner by a car length at the line. Cole Baxter, winner here tonight. How does it feel to pick up a Street Stock Showdown victory?
It's pretty good, especially after not making the show last week because of some stuff that happened in the B main. Definitely a good race there. I didn't mean to have whatever happened to whoever that was. It was just a door opened and I stuck my foot in it, you know.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. It was kind of tough to pass despite being close quarters like this. If somebody was in front of you kind of just keeping it parked through the center, it was hard to really scoot them up out of the way if you had better roll speed. And like you said, if the door was open, you had to put your foot in there, and that's what you did, and you ended up with your first Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown victory. Who do you have to thank for the victory, and do you think you can go for the sweep on the big track?
Well, I got to thank all my guys, Trey, Peyton, Jesse, all those guys. They run with us quite a bit. And then, of course, my sponsors from real life. You got SP Carburetors, Bubba's About Broke Podcast, JLH Mechanical, Big Red Tax Service. They support me in real life, and they allow me to do what I do, so I'm forever thankful for all those guys.
Alrighty, well, we wish you luck on the big track, and hopefully we can talk to you twice tonight.
That'd be nice. It's my home track, so we'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, congratulations.
Thank you.
Folks, that was your winner here tonight. Now let's talk to our second place finisher. Get him up in the booth. Matthew Elzy Jr., second place finisher here tonight. Your best finish in the Street Stock Showdown to date, I do believe. P2 just about had it. What more did you need in those final couple laps?
Honestly, I probably should have backed up the corner a little bit going into 3 and 4, but the outside, there's pretty much no outside on this track. So the fact that I was able to stay side by side with them for that that green-white checkered was honestly more than I expected. So I don't know, I expect a lot more from the big track.
Yeah, do you think you will finish better or the same or worse than second? What's your prediction going into the big track?
You know, I think we have a good setup going. We've got a lot of time on the big track, so I think we could possibly pull out the win, you know, but still going to look for that top 3, top 5 finish.
All right, well, hopefully you can have a good run in the second race of the night, but real quick, who do you have to thank for a podium finish?
Definitely my parents. You know, they put so much time and effort into all this, you know, IRL and in this iRacing thing, so without them, it definitely wouldn't be possible, so big thanks to them.
All right, well, hopefully you have a good run. Hopefully we can talk to you twice tonight. Good luck in race number 2.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll talk to our third place finisher up in the broadcast booth. Connor Knowlton, you just about had to start both of these races from the rear. Drove it up to third. Tell me about your run.
Geez, I don't know. It was super hectic. You know, the back half of the field working through there, everyone kind of spaced out a little bit, and it was a bit hectic there at the end. I know Jeremiah's probably not super happy with me. But, I mean, I lifted halfway down the back straightaway. I lifted before him. I got to the corner. I held my line as best I could, and he kind of washed up a little bit, and I just clipped him in the left rear. I got him back going straight again, and he just couldn't gather it up back in time. So I'm gonna leave that one up to the stewards. I trust their decision there, but I mean, like I rolled in slower than I did all race, and then coming to the white flag, I took it 3, and I was on the inside of Elvis. I don't know if he was being protective or not, So I lifted out of it. He had it all the way down to the bottom. I don't know if he overdrove it or what, but I just kind of worked my way through there. It was super hectic there at the end, but I just kept enough race car left in it to get it done.
Yeah, it was a good drive nonetheless. You and Elvis were both kind of fighting way up through the field, and both of you, I think, had a really good run. So it was good to see that. Good to get a good race from the rear. It's obviously a bad hand to be dealt here at the mini track, so I think you made the best of it. Do you think you have a shot at the big track?
Not sure. Well, it depends on qualifying. A little bit more room to make stuff happen out there in the big one. I'm not really too sure how it's gonna go, but a lot of laps to get it done. So we're just gonna see what happens. Just try and keep the tires on it and be there at the end.
All right. Well, congrats on your third place run. Is there anybody you'd like to thank real quick before you head into the 5/8s?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Just the Top Media, KSD Graphics, Lefty Designs, and Twisted Speed Setup Shop.
All right. Well, hopefully we can talk to you twice, and we wish you luck in the 5/8 Smile 50 Lapper.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, race fans, that was the first race of the night. We're going to take a quick step away after we run through our final finishing results. Cole Baxter, your winner. Matthew LZ Jr. second. Connor Knowlton third. Brandon Elvis fourth. Brandon Atkinson fifth. Carter Hollingsworth sixth. Chris Shepard seventh. Peyton Hamlet eighth. Tristan Pena ninth. Braxton DeWeese rounds out your top 10. Don't know where I read Brandon Atkinson there, but Trey Ashworth comes home 11th, Dylan Connor 12th, Justin Coleman 13th, Gavin Gardner 14th, Chris Smith 15th, Jeremiah Woods 16th, Chris Fleming 17th, Adam Fulford 18th, Jesse Binkley 19th, and Jaden Russell rounds out the field in the 20th spot. So that will wrap up race number 1. We're going to stay on the same stream. We'll see you guys back in race number 2. They should be qualifying here in about 5 minutes or so. So stay tuned. We'll be back with qualifying for the 5/8 Mile in about 5 minutes right here on the WD Broadcasting Network.
KG Media is your home for all things photography, race day social media, and more. Cody Geyer brings more than a decade of experience working with the top brands in short track racing. From individual photos to full race days, social media to PR, KG Media can make your race team, race track, or touring series stand out. For more information, go to marknews.org or visit KG Media on Facebook.
Mark News is back. Michigan Area Racing Connection News keeps fans in the tri-state area up to date on national headlines, local results, regional news, and so much more. Home of the Horsepower Happenings podcast, 500 Sprintcast, Gridline Social, Job Bank, Fastlane Images, KG Media, and so much more. MarkNews.org is the one stop for any race fan who needs to know what's going on in the Michigan area. Plus, get the Mark News weekly newsletter sent right to your inbox, FREE free. Sign up today and learn more at marknews.org. MarkNews.org, the Michigan Area Racing Connection.
The Horsepower Happenings podcast is Michigan's short track racing authority. For nearly a decade, Horsepower Happenings has given race fans a chance to hear directly from their favorite drivers, local track owners, and promoters. Horsepower Happenings is the only podcast keeping fans engaged with Michigan area racing for 52 weeks a year. Don't miss the Horsepower Happenings podcast live on Facebook every Monday night at 6:30 and available everywhere you enjoy podcasts. Visit horsepowerhappenings.com and follow on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube.
Alrighty, folks, back at the 5/8 mile now. You can see everybody making their quick little practice laps. We've got, I think, 16 cars here for the second race of the night. Get the quick practice results up on screen for you guys. Probably 2 anyhow. There was no way to test it beforehand to make sure that it was working, so I'm sure now naturally it is not going to work, and we're going to have to fight it the rest of the race, but that's all right. 50 laps on the big track at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. In the history of the Leave the Pack iRacing League, we have visited in the history of the Street Stock Showdown, we have visited the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway 3 times with 3 different winners. The last one being John Lyday on August 18th of 2025. And none of our previous Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway winners are in the field here tonight, so we will have a new winner. We'll have to see who is able to get the job done. There's nobody going home after qualifying. Everybody's going to make the race, so there's no concern there. Brandon Elvis in the 54, trying to have another good run. He finished 4th in the first race of the night. Elvis making his qualifying lap, still trying to get timing and scoring to work with me here. We'll see if it does. Eventually the lap times should pop up for you guys. Hopefully they do. Right now, Elvis quick time out of 13 cars that have taken a time. Dylan Connors, second lap. He jumps up to 3rd. Cole Baxter just won at the mini track. He qualified 3rd in this one. Connor Knowlton, who finished 3rd. Making his qualifying run right now in the 24. Looks like he went 16th quick. Final driver to make a time, Chris Smith in the 80. And Chris Smith, second time around, P6. So Smith goes to the 6th spot in qualifying. There we go. Timing and scoring now works, but unfortunately, none of my buttons do, so we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way for the rest of the night, but that's okay. We've got timing and scoring up for you guys to see. So let's look at our qualifying results as these drivers get their final preparations made. Results from qualifying up on screen now. Brandon Elvis, your fast qualifier in the 54. puts him 1 behind Dylan Connor on the all-time fast qualifier, or quick time list. Cole Baxter, second quick in the 19, trying to go back-to-back. Third quick, Dylan Connor. Fourth quick was Chris Shepard. He had a good run going in the first race of the night. Brandon Atkinson rounds out your top 5. 17 cars took time. It looks like that's how many we will be sending to the green for 50 laps around the 5/8 mile at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. All right, starting grid is set. I realized I was talking again with my mic muted. Oops. But the starting grid is set for 50 laps around the 5/8 mile. On the pole, it's going to be Chris Smith in the number 80. To his outside, the 15 of Brandon Atkinson. Going to roll off on the outside of row number 1. To the inside of row number 2, that's going to be Chris Shepard in the number 19, the driver out of Lakeland, Florida. And to his outside from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, that is the 54 of Brandon Elvis. In the number 8 machine inside of row number 4, that is going to be the Nashville, Tennessee driver, Trey Ashworth. And to his outside, the other number 8 machine starting in the 8th spot, that'll be Braxton DeWeese. Driver out of Cromwell, Indiana, I do believe. That's going to be Andrew Turner. And to his outside, another driver close to the Nashville area, Hendersonville, Tennessee native. That's Jesse Binkley. Starting inside row number 6, the driver who finished second last race. That's Matthew Elzy Jr. And to his outside, fast qualifier last race, qualifies 12th in race 2 of the night. Then rounding out our field, Tristan Pena, Adam Fulford, Dave Leonard Jr. unloads the 27 machine in time for this race. Then Chris Fleming and Connor Knowlton going to bring this field to the green. As the pace car drops off, it'll be Chris Smith and Brandon Atkinson leading us through the restart zone. And for the second time tonight, race 2 underway in the Street Stock Showdown at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. The field dives off into turn number 1. A couple cars squirrely out back, but everybody through the first couple of corners all right. A couple cars into the wall, down the back straightaway. And as I say that, Tristan Pena in the number 50 goes for a slide. And caution flag out early, lap number 1. Tristan Pena in the number 50 machine goes for a spin. Let's see what happened here. At 18, Chris Fleming got into the back bumper, or got into the wall and then kind of bounced off of the wall. And that sent the 50 of Tristan Pena for a spin. 2 races, 2 incidents, lap number 1 here tonight at the fairgrounds. And that will bring the field to a slow. Brandon Atkinson, your race leader. He got the jump on Chris Smith on that outside lane and was able to hold the spot. And iRacing, unlike a short track you'd see on a normal Saturday night, there's no complete restarts, no going back to the last completed lap to set the lineup. They pretty much freeze the field right where they are. And that is where they will line up for the following restart. So that will put Brandon Atkinson in the top spot. We'll see what lane he chooses when they do come back to the one to go. They do have lane choice after the first one, but only after the first one. That first start, you don't get lane choice. You clearly can see the advantage that the outside lane brings, but you also do get to fire in the restart zone as the leader after that initial one. So a couple variables playing into what lane Brandon Atkinson may choose. And I'm suddenly joined by Noah Longyear up in the booth. I saw a text from Noah Longyear, and he suddenly joins me up in the booth. Do I have a guest co-host up in the tower? Noah, are you here at the fairgrounds with me right now?
Yeah, we were not able to unload the car after getting Chris Fleming last week. I'm just kidding, love Chris. So we went ahead, joined the tower. I got a hamburger on my left hand, microphone in the right hand. Let's call a fun race at Nashville, WD.
Yeah, we're gonna have to try it again here. They had a little bit of trouble getting going on the back straightaway. A couple cars went for a spin, but we're getting ready to go back green. Chris Smith on the inside, but the control car, Brandon Atkinson, chooses that outside lane. It'll be 5 laps in, and the green flag is back out. We're back racing at Nashville.
On the inside, the 80 of Chris Smith. He has that bottom line advantage, but it looks like WD, we're arcing it off the top, driving the bottom. That's how Brandon Atkinson's going to clear from that top line. You're going to see Brandon Elvis gets right in line behind him. Brandon Elvis keyed up under yellow, said, Brandon, I'm just trying to get through this race clean. I don't want to race you like that. So maybe there was contact at some point during the beginning of the race. They're running 1-2 right now. Battle's on for third just behind.
Yeah, Dylan Connor and Chris Smith right there, side by side. Smith on the top side, trying to get down. He had a couple cars pass him to the top side. Now he's got a car pass him to the inside. Smith is wondering where these guys are finding that much grip this early in the race. As you see Dylan Connor move to his inside. Cole Baxter, winner of the quarter mile here a little bit ago, trying to go back-to-back and sweep the night. He currently runs 5th.
And is there anything you could really pull from winning on the short track to go to the big track? Is it just how people are going to race each other? Is now we have a race for the lead with Brandon Atkinson, having Brandon Elvis up his inside? You just have to figure out that tempo of how the guys around you are going to behave as Brandon Elvis takes the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they're behaving much better in this race now, but I think you can't really take anything away as far as driving goes. You can't really apply that to this track. The difference is just too great, but like you said, knowing how other people are going to drive for the rest of the night is what you're going to pick up on. As we saw a couple cars squirrely out of 2, still sideways down the back straightaway, and we're 3 wide into turn number 3. Trey Ashworth, the meat and sandwich in the number 8 machine.
And that's a battle going on just outside the top 10. The 8 car, Braxton DeWeese, actually has a 9th position. You see that Golf number 50 of Andrew Turner just behind. A little bit of a fusterclut going on in the back. They're trying to find a lane that works for them. Of course, they are outside the top 10. Most of those guys just trying to find speed and figure out what works. But with 12 laps in, out of a 50, they have a lot of time to learn something from the faster cars in front. As now we have a battle going on for, it looks like, the 4th spot. Call it the 3rd spot. Dylan Connor, Chris Smith side by side with Cole Baxter on their hip.
Yeah, Baxter right there trying to win 2 here tonight. But Connor and Smith have been side by side for quite some time. That just goes to show how difficult it is to pass here in the street stock. Connor usually a very fast contender everywhere he goes, and just not able to get clear of Chris Smith. As right now, Brandon Elvis is your race leader in the 54. He's gotten around Brandon Atkinson.
Panthers with the early race speed with Atkinson's out front, and of course Dylan Connor was around the top 3. Now the Casinos starting to show their strength, as on the outside Chris Smith had him at the halfway mark on the back straightaway by about half a car length. But that's a great side-by-side battle at Nashville. Multiple grooves being used. Looks like that top line wants to prevail if he can make the 91 tight on the bottom. I just saw the 19 give a little bit of a bumper too. Casinos trying to freight train the top right now.
Yeah, and we had a couple of cars out back make some contact. I think that was Matthew Elzy Jr., Dave Leonard Jr., both the 27s involved. Leonard's going to continue on. Elzy will bring it pit side. Chris Fleming in the 18 also brings it pit side, but the green flag will stay back out as back behind Cole Baxter thought about 3 wide underneath Dylan Connor.
I saw that, WD. He went to take a sniff. He just didn't have the momentum. If he had the momentum, he would have went for it. Contact off of 4 between Chris Smith and Dylan Connor. Baxter knows what's up. I think if he just rides his lane, he's going to come out with something. He looks inside again. He's keeping it down there, WD. Oh, contact! And somehow Cole Baxter, the hat trick, and here comes the 25, and Jesse Binkley up the inside for another 3 wide. Both those drivers take advantage, and it looks like Binkley sideways saves it, stacks up. We're still green.
Wow, what a race right there. Chris Smith able to get by Dylan Connor finally, but how about Cole Baxter? The 2 for 1 gets them both on that inside lane. It kind of put them both at an awkward spot, and Cole Baxter goes by on the inside. And now back behind Jesse Binkley in the 25, back to 14th. He's going to really have to fight and claw his way forward as we're just shy of the halfway mark.
Yeah, he saw Cole Baxter pull the rabbit out of the hat. He tried to replicate, but it was more the hat coming out of the rabbit. Not that pretty of a sight. So he's going to drop all the way nearly into the 15th position, but still an opportunity to gain some spots because he is starting to reel back in this group of cars right now. The 8 of Tristan Pena to the back bumper, excuse me, that's Braxton DeWeese, the back bumper of the 50 of Tristan Pena. So getting pinballed around right now on that top line. Faster guys just need to find some rotation. I think that's the 55 of Gavin Gardner in the thick of it as well. What's he doing back here?
Yeah, Gardner had a good run going at the Nashville quarter mile just a little bit ago. Looped it on the exit of turn number 2. Trying to put together another good run here, but right now just struggling to make his way through the field. Gets to the inside of Braxton Deweese. This battle for the last spot in the top 10 has been fierce all race long. You can see Connor Knowlton thinking about 3 wide. He's going to get the door slammed in his face by Trey Ashworth. Didn't want to have an opportunity to let that 24 go by.
The 51 of Andrew Turner has a mirror full of Gavin Gardner and Braxton DeWeese right now. He seems to be slower than the pair, but that pair behind him are side by side. They're both fast cars. They can't rotate as well as the 51 because, well, they're side by side. It's hurting their line. So the 51 is slower, and both cars are taking turns, knocking on the rear bumper of Andrew Turner.
Yeah, we had that first caution flag, have not had one since. We're just about to the halfway point. Up front, Brandon Atkinson slowly, I think, starting to reel in your race leader, Brandon Elvis.
Yeah, I've been watching that gap on my relative WD. It's been a constant 3 tenths at one point. VA 0.36, now showing 0.32 on the back straightaway. So I think he's just trying to find a way to get that Panther to rotate in the center of the corner. Both cars are now moving back down to the bottom. Not a lot of arcing going on or a diamond, just slowly moving it into the corner. That time both cars lane up off the bottom. I heard there's a bump some guys might be trying to avoid. But it's going to be a battle here soon if BA can find, I mean, it doesn't need to be a full tenth. It can be half a tenth here. Yeah,
he doesn't need much. Just about matching lap times, as you can see on the left side. We are just past the halfway mark. Dead even on lap times pretty much throughout your top 5. 20.7 blank. It's just about a tenth between all of your top 5. And right now, Brandon Elvis is showing the way, but he's definitely got some fierce competitors starting to put together some ideas in their heads with 23 to go on how to get by the 54.
Yeah, we went single file there for a couple of laps out of nowhere. Now we're already back to side-by-side racing. Braxton Louise was able to clear Gavin Gardner, so we spent about 2 laps trying to build a run on the 51 of Andrew Turner. Now he's able to look to the inside, so you can see Gavin Gardner, as soon as that middle line is left open, he's going to fill it, and he's like, well, Braxton, go up there and pass him. I'm waiting, but I want to be right here to capitalize. So Andrew Turner now in the middle line. That's going to allow Braxton Louise to rotate off the inside. They touch. Down the back straightaway, give him about 3 laps. I think the Wii should be able to clear Andrew Turner, barring nothing goes wrong here. Gardner, a little impatient.
Yeah, Gardner, I think, knows the time is running out. We're 21 laps to go, and he's seen this same story play out for most of the races. Deweese does finally get around Andrew Turner. Now Gardner can have his turn. But Gardner knows that the time is running out. He and Connor Knowlton both outside of the top 10 right now. And Turner sideways, good save. Man, they are not comfortable in these race cars up off the corner. You can tell the later we get, the hotter the right rears get.
I don't know if Turner felt like DeWeese did him wrong, but he gave him the bumper going in the corner. No harm, no foul. Exit was not going to lift, was all over the 8, and gave him another shot. That's going to end with Andrew Turner being the one that loses out the most, as Gavin Gardner and Connor Knowlton will go by. Knowlton now into the top 10. Tristan Pena side by side with Adam Fulford. That's a battle right now for the 6th spot.
Yeah, Pena trying to work his way back forward after that early spin. He's up to the 7th spot. He wants the 6th position from Adam Fulford, but you can see as soon as a driver gets to the inside, it won't be many laps before that group of 3 cars, Braxton Louise, Gavin Gardner, and Connor Knowlton, is right there on the back bumper of Pena and Fulford.
Meanwhile, gap between Brandon Elvis and Brandon Atkinson has stayed right around a .35 to even a .4. And did Brandon Atkinson just make a mistake? I'm going to look back. He just lost, as I was saying that, about 0.06. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when it's 2 leaders running identical lines, that means a mistake was made or he got tight. So Brandon Elvis now gets to see the 4 on the 10th marker, and maybe even half a second gap on his relative. That's some relief right now as we're just past halfway.
Yeah, when you're fighting a guy and trying to hold somebody off, any time that gap gets smaller, you start to panic a little bit, you start to sweat a little bit. And anytime it gets even, like you said, 100th of a second bigger, you start to maybe take a little bit of a breather, start to do things a little differently. You don't want to fall off the pace, but you start to calm down a little bit, knowing that, okay, maybe I have something here.
2 drivers that are not taking breathers and they're not calming down. Fulford and Pena still side by side. They're starting to exchange some doors at some point. That golf paint scheme is when he rubbed on the side of the 71 as they trade paint again. And look what's happening behind Gardner, Knowlton, DeWeese, nearly 3 wide, waiting for them to make up their mind. Pena will clear, and I got a feeling Fulford's going to send it in here from the bottom and try to keep it planted. He can't. Now he's got to watch out. Here comes DeWeese on the outside. Knowlton, Gardner trying to find their way through, but Pena will clear into 6th.
Yeah, DeWeese with a magnificent line through turn number 4. Gardner tried to shut the door to the top side, but DeWeese had just a little bit more on that outside lane and was able to get to the top of Fulford and takes that 7th spot. We're down to 12 laps to go here, Noah. No caution flag thus far. Brandon Elvis trying to go back to victory lane, and his lead still growing.
WD? Connor Knowlton just threw it into the door of Braxton DeWeese, and they're still going back at it. If I was DeWeese, I wouldn't let it slide, but he ends up into the outside wall, comes with a microphone with some choice words. Connor Knowlton getting and earning that right hook nickname. Wasn't a right hook there, but he used up that 8 car and then some, and Gavin Gardner will take 7th. That was almost a caution.
Yeah, a little bit of contact. I did not see the initial contact, but I saw the aftermath down into turn number 3. Looked like the 24 didn't really give the 8 machine a lane down into 3, sent him up the racetrack, and they'll both set their sights now on Tristan Pena trying to take over that 6th position as things have calmed down here, at least temporarily, as back behind Trey Ashworth gets to the inside of Andrew Turner, coming back to 9 laps to go.
Chris Smith, Dylan Connor were going back at it for the moment for the 4th spot. I saw Chris Smith. Watch this line he's running. Well, now he's not going to run it. He has a different line in 1 and 2. He kind of drove it off the top like a diamond line. The only driver really doing that right now in the top 5. But it looks like Dylan Connor, just that line is a little strong. But Chris Smith is searching. And with almost 7 laps to go, WD, there's nothing wrong with looking for something when you have a nice 1 second gap to the car behind. Actually, about 3 seconds for your top 5 separation.
Yeah, Chris Smith right now can try to maybe search around, find if there is any speed left in that race car. And if not, he can comfortably sit, like you said, in that spot as we've got a caution right where we kind of expected it.
Yeah, Andrew Turner, contact We'll have to pull up a replay. I'm hearing some words from Trey Ashworth, who might have been involved. And, looks like another car slow on the speedway as well, Jesse Binkley.
Oh, it looked like the 8 of Trey Ashworth got hooked on the front straightaway. I don't know if Turner got loose off the wall or if there was frustration there. Not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too right now, WD, and it looks like Andrew Turner, he doesn't make any contact with the car to his inside. He pushes up in the fence, knocks the wheel out of his hands, and then it's a left turn into the cars underneath. I don't believe it was malicious, but I don't know how you kind of lose the wheel there. He kind of had it straightened out, and the next thing you know, you're veering left. So unless there's some steering damage that we just are unaware of what happened in the cockpit of Andrew Turner, that was a little odd, but that brings out the yellow, WD. 5 to go at the moment. Caution laps counter, will we see a GWC?
We probably will see a green-white checkered. Maybe not this time. I think they may be able to get the white flag before the green-white checkered point, but caution laps are counting here, so each and every one of these trips around behind the iRacing.com pace car, it's going to make one less lap that Brandon Elvis has to defend from Brandon Atkinson. What happened back there behind? I don't know if Cole Baxter and Dylan Connor were. Connor making some contact with Baxter. I'm not sure what frustrations they may have with one another. I thought they were pretty spread out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And at the moment, Trey Ashworth and Andrew Turner are screaming at each other from each other's cockpits right now. That's a fight going on back there. They're rubbing some paint, but here we go. Brandon Elvis chooses the top. Brandon Atkinson will be to his inside. Cole Baxter, Dylan Connor, Kevin Gardner, Chris Smith. Your top 3 rows, WD. What are we going to see, on this restart?
I think aggression is the only thing that we will possibly see. I think we do have a green-white checkered right here, so this will be possibly the final restart. Elvis is going to be on the top, Atkinson on the bottom. Elvis has control in the 54, and now the pace car moves to the inside. We'll wait for the restart zone, and they get to the line, and the green flies. Back underway with 2 laps to go, green-white checkered.
Elvis, immediately what he needed there was a great launch, and he looks in his mirror and sees Brandon Atkinson side by side with Dylan Connor. Off exit, he just has to race back to that white flag. Will end under green flag conditions. Side by side by side by side. 3 rows back, white flag. Brandon Elvis one more time around Nashville.
Yeah, final time for the 54. Dylan Connor trying to take the second spot from Brandon Atkinson. Atkinson gets a little tap from Cole Baxter. Now Gavin Gardner trying to take the 3rd position. But out front, give the victory to Brandon Elvis. Fast qualifier wins it here at the fairgrounds from the 5th spot, or 6th spot, sorry. And the 2-time champion goes back to victory lane in the Street Stock Showdown. It's been a long time coming for the 54. But winner at the fairgrounds. And man, no, that was a little bit less chaotic than I thought it was going to be, but definitely some
we got guys
here.
wrecking in turns 3 and 4 right now. Braxton DeWeese, Connor Knowlton, a lot of unhappy drivers right now throughout the field. Brandon Elvis is the happy one about it. He's going to burn it down the entry at turn 1 and bring it all the way back down the front straightaway at Nashville, a racetrack being threatened by a soccer stadium to be shut down, but the fans come out for an epic night here in Tennessee. Fuck soccer, fuck the World Cup. Brandon Elvis is going to carry that car all the way around Nashville, celebrating here at one of the greatest short tracks in America.
For sure, it's definitely top 3 in my list, maybe first overall. But let's try to grab a word from our top 3 finishers real quick. Let's talk to the driver that rocketed to the 2nd position on that final restart. 2nd place finisher real quick, Dylan Connor. Tell me about that final restart and how you rocketed on that top lane.
Yeah, the top lane was pretty dominant all race, but especially there at the end. think that as much as these tires slide and get hot through the corners, everybody kind of got tight, and I knew if I could just, keep Brandon pinched down there, I ought to be able to get a good run off the top. So definitely a good rebound this race as compared to the first race.
Dylan, when you see a green-white checkered come out, you know that you only have essentially 4 corners, handful more turns to make something happen. You don't get to be on the front row to fire off, but you're right behind it. What choices do you make? Are you going to try to hang on and hope that you come out with a good spot, or is it your moment to be aggressive and take everything you can?
You definitely got to be aggressive. Like I said, especially the way the top came in right there. You kind of just had to gas up and hope for the best. Brandon almost had me cleared off of 2, so I had to gas up earlier than I wanted. I thought I was going to kind of clip the wall off of 2, but yeah, you just definitely got to be aggressive. Only you have 3 laps there left at the end of the race.
Yeah, for sure. The aggression, we've seen it all season long in the Street Stock Showdown, and you were the perfect amount of aggressive there on the final restart, got up to the 2nd spot. Who do you have to thank for another podium finish here in the Street Stock Showdown?
As always, just got to thank my family and friends for all the support. My main sponsors, Chris and Alan Purrier with Caldwell Banker Elite, and of course, WD Broadcasting Network, and putting on for the league for us on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and you should have a good run here tonight in points. We'll have to see how that shakes out and look at that after we get it all sorted out this evening. But congratulations on P2, and we wish you luck throughout the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Noah. Now we're going to talk to our winner here tonight. He did not have it easy. Had to drive up through the field. Started 6th. Your fast qualifier in race number 2 of the night. Winner, Brandon Elvis. You get a copy.
Hey, man.
Well, it's been quite a while since your last Street Stock Showdown victory. Let me fact check myself really quick. I think it was season number 2, and it was that last race. February 12th of last year was your last Street Stock win. Finally, back to Street Stock Showdown victory lane. How's it feel?
Yeah, man. I guess Moby Dick was still a minnow or whatever that goes back then. But it feels good, man. I thought we should have had a podium in the first race too. Started 16th in it, barely made the race. Think we might after final racing, post race or whatever goes on. But I don't know, man. It feels good. The car fits my driving style at Nashville a lot on the big track, and pretty much anything we come here in except the supers. And I just had a lot of fun, had track position early, and was able to maintain it.
Brandon Elvis, you look like a hound dog out there. The Elvis name fits. What do you got to do behind the wheel? Does the track change? How do you adapt? Or were you just so consistent out there that you just had to run your laps and you were able to get around Brandon Atkinson and hang on for what was essentially 42 laps leading?
Yeah, man. Especially here at Nashville, it's so easy to overdrive the corners on entry. And if you can ever get a little bit of space between you and the car behind you, and if you're able to back the corner up a good bit, you can save the tires a lot here at Nashville. So pretty much what I did, and it stayed good. I seen pretty much maintain the same lead. The top 3 or 4, it looked like the gap was the same the whole race. So those guys probably had something for me, just I had the track position and they didn't really.
Well, first win in a long time, Brandon. Who do you have to thank for a checkered flag finally, once again in the Street Stock Showdown?
Oh, yeah. Just like to thank my wife for letting me do this, as often as I do. It means a lot to me. I know she's probably back there watching Love Island or something right now. And just shout out to my dad and my brother watching at home. Barry Ellis Performance and Fab, Coastal Marine, Coastal Performance, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, WD Broadcasting Network, and Coleman Design for getting these cars looking good. Oh, and my team at ECR.
Yeah, got to thank the team. Next week, Brandon, you won just in time to get yourself some momentum rolling. We head to the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Do you think you can win it at home?
And historically, probably not. I'm never good there on iRacing, but hopefully we can get it done, man. I mean, like Adam Fulford's got a lot of laps here in real life too. So we should be okay. I think. Definitely, it probably will be a contender. Just hopefully we can get it done there at the end.
All right. Well, congratulations to you on your first victory of the season. I think 9th all-time. You are the all-time winningest driver in Street Stock Showdown history. So congratulations on adding to that total, and hopefully we can see you back in victory lane soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Man, Noah, back to victory lane. At the beginning of this series and Leave the Pack, it felt like I was interviewing Brandon Elvis every single week, whether it was on the podium, whether it was in victory lane. Every week that 54 car was in the booth post-race, and for a while there he hit a dry spell and finally breaks through, gets the checkered flag just in time for his home track.
Yeah, maybe one of these weeks we should tech that car. All righty, we're going to bring him up, finishing P3 tonight. Had the lead, lost it. Green-white checker comes out. Is able to hang on to a third-place finish. Brandon, is that a successful night for you, or were you hoping for just a little bit more?
Yeah, I'll call it a successful night. We were able to get a decent finish starting from the back on the short track. The race before, we tried to keep our nose clean the best that we could. It was a little bit tough. And then, got a decent draw on the invert there to start second. It took the lead, but Elvis was definitely a bit faster than me throughout the entire race. So I was going to just let him by and then tuck in behind him. I noticed people behind me were side by side, looked like all the way back. So I figured we could try to run away and hope it'll go green. And it kind of went our way until about 5 to go, and we got that caution. I hated to see that one, but I'd have liked to hang on for second there. But all in all, it was a good race and a good run there to the end with Dylan and Gavin. He about got me.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how that was going to turn out. I don't think I actually... I may have got it on the broadcast, but I wasn't watching that exact spot. So I was kind of wondering how that was going to play out, because I think you were on the inside lane, and the inside lane was kind of not the place to be all night.
No, it wasn't. I was hoping I was going to be able to get clear off Elvis, and kind of get back into that same situation we were able to find ourselves in, where we were 1 and 2, and the people behind us were stacked up, but it didn't work out that way for me there. So I had to fight and get all I could, and the inside definitely was not it. I couldn't get it turned and couldn't get the best run up off. So I'm definitely glad I could hang on for at least a podium.
Yeah, always good to get the podium. Good to hang on, like you said. Could have been a lot worse on that final restart. You were kind of sitting in the sitting duck position going into one. So glad you were able to hang on. Who do you have to thank for P3 in the Street Stock Showdown at Nashville?
Just thank UWD for putting the league on and broadcasting. Thanks everyone for showing up and having a good time every week. That's all I got. So we hope to see you next time.
Yeah, hopefully we can talk to you again at Myrtle Beach. Noah, you got anything for BA before we send him out of here?
Yeah, BA, what are we drinking tonight?
Man, I had a hard day at work today, so usually it's the Coors, but I had to stick with some water tonight. That's probably why we didn't get the win.
Incorrect answer. Your choices were whiskey or vodka. Brandon, congratulations on the top 3.
Thanks, Noah, and we'll see you next week in the sprint cars for another good brawl.
Heck yeah, buddy.
All right, see you, man.
I forgot about that. The two of you did have a good brawl last night to kind of finish out the sprint car race. BA was hard charger in the sprint car race, so 2 good nights in a row.
I should have beat him. I should have had 10. I need to start practicing with the track state set at 80, because that's about what it is when we roll in there, and I was not prepared for how tight I was. But yeah, Brandon and I raced really well here at Nashville on Monday, and he raced really well tonight on today. So
yeah, it was a good run there in the end of 5/8 mile race. We had a kind of a rough start to the night on the quarter mile, but we made it through. Ended up finishing with only a couple cautions in the 5/8 mile race. So top 5 here, breaking it down. We'll run at 5x5, Noah. Brandon Elvis, your race winner. Dylan Connor, we just talked to him. Brandon Atkinson also just talked to him. Good runs for 3 drivers who have previously been successful in the Street Stock Showdown. 4th place goes to Gavin Gardner. And Connor Knowlton, in the 24 points leader coming into tonight, rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, and this second half of the top 10 is where the bloody knuckles and hurt feelings are. We already got guys chirping in the pits right now. There was a fight and a lot of egos going around, which, hey, sometimes you got to have that. It's short track racing. Cole Baxter 6th, Christopher Smith 7th, Tristan Pena 8th, Braxton DeWeese 9th, and Christopher Shepard rounds out that top 10. A couple of those guys were not in the top 10, even going into that green-white checker, which kind of shows you, hey, some freaky things were happening. Some good finishes and some guys that probably aren't happy about their result.
For sure. One of the drivers maybe not happy, Adam Fulford and Trey Ashworth. Both of those drivers were battling inside the top 10, come up just short in 11th and 12th. Andrew Turner comes home 13th in the 51, final car on the lead lap. Jesse Binkley 14th in the 25. Dave Leonard Jr. 15th, and Chris Fleming and Matthew Elzy Jr. round out the field. Well, Noah, first Street Stock Showdown race up in the booth. How do you feel?
I don't know. Maybe it is more fun than having to be down there with those guys, but I'm excited. This is a fun community. I know there are some guys that maybe I go toe-to-toe with, whether I'm messing with them or they're messing with me, but I didn't make the race because I was busy, but I'm happy to hop in the booth just a few minutes short and call some good racing at Nashville.
Yeah, it's like everybody behaved when you came into the booth. I don't know. They wouldn't behave when I was trying to announce, but when you came up into the booth, they put on a pretty good show. So I'm glad that you were able to come up here and join me, and it was a good race and not something we saw like the quarter mile. But next week at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, are you going to be behind the wheel or behind the microphone?
I'm kind of afraid of Myrtle Beach because they have those concrete turtles, and I always find a way to hit them. But we'll just kind of have to see. You know what I mean? I took the old casino out, trashed that at North Wilkesboro. So I went, all right, you know what? We wrecked that car. I don't have time to fix it. We'll go hop in the other one. And I took that baby out and we trashed it. So all I have left is the Panther. So we'll see if she still has the speed that it had 3 years ago.
Yeah, you got to shake the dust off, see if she's ready to roll. But thank you, Noah, for joining me up here in the booth. We'll go ahead and wrap things up on the WD Broadcasting Network. We've got Myrtle Beach next week for the Street Stock Showdown, and then Oswego for the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. That one's going to be a fun one. You guys won't want to miss that. But I am your host, Winston Deal of the WD Broadcasting Network, alongside Noah Longyear here tonight. Thank you guys for joining us, and hope you guys enjoyed the Nashville doubleheader for the Street Stock Showdown. And we will talk to you guys in the next episode, as Noah's got some cool outro music for us. So we'll let it play. You guys have a good night.
What in the heck is going on out there? Your driving is absolute garbage. If NASCAR doesn't throw you out or suspend you, one of the other drivers is going to teach you a real lesson.